if there is legislation brought to you to ban contraception, would you sign it?
Well, I don't think that's going to happen in Mississippi. I'm sure they'll have those conversations in other states.
You're not answering the question.
As is always the case with things, well, that's always the case. There's so many things that we can talk about.
Morning, folks. This is Old Texas Paul, and this is your captain speaking. I'm here to tell you to brace for impact. I'm wearing my Code Red shirt today. We need to have a serious conversation about these sorry sons of bitchin' Republicans and what they're doing. When Donald Trump was trying to push his coup through, he buried a bunch of Lyme-infested sorry sons of bitchin' ticks in our government. And he did it to hedge his bets. He did it so that if the coup succeeded, these departments couldn't react against him. And if he failed, he had agents in these departments to do as much damage as possible on the way out the door. With this Roe v. Wade decision, that is exactly what the Republicans are doing right now, today. They are hedging their bets. They are putting diseased, sick, infested ticks in our laws all across the country. And they're doing it as fast as possible. And I want to make you aware of what's going on so that at the end you can understand my plea to you. Right now, in the state of Idaho, they are pushing in a piece of legislation that's about to hit the floor that makes IUD contraception and Plan B contraception illegal. Now think about that, ladies. Think about how many of you use IUDs. Think about how you didn't think they'd be that radical. You didn't ever think they'd really overturn Roe v. Wade. You just didn't see that coming. And then, for God's sake, you didn't think they would be making contraception illegal. Well, it gets worse. The same legislation, almost identical, is being pushed in Missouri. It's about to hit the floor. In Arizona, there is a Republican congressman who is getting support and co-sponsors for a bill that they are about to push to the floor that makes condoms illegal. Now think about that for a second. You can't go down to the drugstore and buy a condom. It's a crime. Louisiana is the coup de grace right now for them. Not only are they prepping laws to be pushed through that make IUDs and Plan B contraception illegal, but they are going to make abortions murder. Now I want you to think about that. They're going to make getting an abortion murder. Now think about your 16-year-old daughter when those laws are replicated across the country, because Mitch McConnell has come out and said he is going to make, if they win in the midterms, abortion a federal crime. That means it's nationwide. It's not a red state, blue state thing. They always lied and said it's a state right thing. It was never a state rights thing. They're going to make this nationwide, and he's come out and he's told you. You cannot say they haven't told you, because they told you, I told you, everybody told you. They're going to make it a federal law. But look at what they're doing in Louisiana. This is going to become the norm. Your 16-year-old daughter accidentally gets pregnant. You know, she didn't mean to. She don't want to come home and tell mama and daddy. So she panics. She goes across state lines to get an abortion before it's illegal everywhere. Comes home to Louisiana. One of her little bitty mean girl friends snitches on her. Finds out and snitches on her. Well, now your little baby girl's facing a murder charge, because at 16, you can be charged as an adult. And murder is one of the charges that usually they will charge someone as an adult. That's what Republicans are doing. They're forcing a theocracy on our country. They keep calling it a culture war so that you don't understand that it's a holy war. These radical evangelical nationalists are pushing these laws into states across the country. This is your code red warning. They're pushing these into states across the country to make sure, to hedge their bet, that if it excites their base and they win the midterms, they're on third base with their theocracy. If they lose, we're going to be digging these sick, infested ticks out of our law books for years. Just like the Biden administration is still digging Trump appointees out of the government a year and a half later, because you have to do it legally. They're doing the same thing and hedging their bets, people. You must not sit out. There is no more, I'm not political. There is no more, and I don't get involved. You have to vote in every single election, from dog catcher to president. Every level, you have to vote Republicans out of office. And I want to talk to Republicans right now for just a second. You know, I normally don't talk to you folks very much, but there's a whole lot of you out there that didn't believe that your party was a theocratic institution. You didn't believe they were this radical. Well, they are, and you're seeing it with your own eyes. I always tell the truth. You can verify everything I say. Go check me out. I want you to. I want you to vote Democrat. In every red state, if you are not on board with turning this country into a Christo-fascist Taliban government, because believe me, it will be the most radical elements that rise to the leadership. It always is in a theocracy. If you believe in freedom and democracy and the rule of law rather than the Bible ruling our nation, then you need to vote Democrat. This needs to be the death knell for the Republican Party. An opposition party will spring up. It always does. You do not have to fear about, democracy, the Democratic Party taking over everything everywhere all the time. And we are a two-party system. Another party will spring up. But this needs to be the nail in the coffin. They made their play. They showed their hand. They showed you. They are Christo-fascists. These are not your normal church people. These are the people that want to make our country a theocracy. So this is what you need to do. Everybody listening to me that can hear my voice, get out. You need to contribute. You need to contribute as much as you can. You need to use your voice. Stop being polite. I quit being polite years ago. Join me in my fight. Let's get out there. Let's donate. I'm donating more than I ever have this year. I am. I'm going to hurt myself. I'm not going to be able to afford any, some vacations this year. I'm not going to be able to afford a few niceties because I am trying to save my country. I am volunteering. I'm going out. I'm doing this. This is becoming a full-time job where I'm getting out there and I'm supporting candidates. I'm getting out there. I'm going to help phone bank. I'm recruiting people to knock on doors. I'm recruiting people to phone bank. This is what you need to do, people. This is how we do it. We've got a lot of work ahead of us because, we were lazy for a long time. And we didn't believe that they were as radical as they are. When I say we, I mean you. I've been telling you for years these sons of bitches are crazy. Believe me. Believe me now. These sons of bitches are crazy. I look forward to seeing you in the fight. God bless you.